Hello and welcome to this video tutorial about creating and submitting time requests for spectrometers in Sesame. In this tutorial, we will be working in the sundial module. Sesame's time request view is used to make requests for time on NMR spectrometers. To create a time request, a user may be in any lab, including the World Lab. Only the user and Recipient Lab may view and access a request. Let's create a new time request and walk through the fields. In the Options menu, scroll to New View and select Time Request. A new time request opens in the board. Let's walk through the fields. The first fields, the database number, dates for created, modified, and submitted, are auto-populated as you build the request and are not editable. The status of your request shows in this field, either new, submitted, or accepted. A permit must be selected in order to submit a time request. The drop-down list contains all permits for the current user. Permits give the user permission to request services from a recipient lab. The permits are issued by the recipient lab, the lab providing the services. Select a permit. Now several fields are auto-populated, including recipient lab, PI name, username, and the fund list. Fill in the project title. The project type field is used to classify the project, and it is set by the recipient lab. Select a billing period. The billing periods are determined by the recipient lab. Enter in specifics about your time request for the spectrometer use, including your requested time in hours, the ideal or maximum amount of spectrometer time requested for your experiment. I'll enter 40. Minimum time is the least amount of spectrometer time acceptable. I'll enter 20. Ways to divide time. Describe desired time blocks if the requested time itself is not a block. I'll say 8 sessions of 5 hours. And any other comments on time. Include any other information regarding how you would request the time allocated. For example, I'll enter the last 2 weeks of the month. Let's save this. Select Save as New Time Request from the Time Request menu. The recipient lab will fill out the fields for billing, including given time, used time, cost per hour, surcharge, and total cost. Spectrometer is a drop-down list of instruments available at the recipient lab. Select a spectrometer. Choose a probe from the drop-down list. The spectrometer info field shows current notifications when a spectrometer is chosen. Type in an alternative spectrometer. Fill in experiment description, including a rationale for the amount of time requested. In experiment details, enter pulse programs to run and related comments. First, add a row to the table by clicking the green plus button to the right of the table. Enter the details here. I'll add another line. To remove a line, select the row and click on the red minus button to the right. Provide any relevant sample information. I'll mark Yes for Run Before. Select a spectrometer operator from the drop-down list, or leave this blank. Indicate your console experience and if you would like training. Check any boxes for specific assistance, or type in your request in the Additional Assistance field. If you know who you would like assistance from, choose that person from the Assisted By field. Username on spectrometer is from an account that is created by the recipient lab before time on a spectrometer is requested. Provide your extranet access IP number if you would like to access the recipient lab's extranet. Enter the names of any accompanying persons who may be coming to the facility with the user. Enter the abstract, a general narrative describing the project. I'll input mine here. Enter a few keywords for this project. Enter any applicable NIH access codes. Multiple areas may be selected by marking the check boxes. Enter investigators attached to the project. The user and the PI may be automatically added to the table. Go to the Edit menu and select Permit to Investigators. You may also use the search button in the middle to the right to select and add any investigators from your time requests. Or simply type in additional investigators here. Choose the green plus button to the right of the field to add a row and fill in the row. List any resulting publications in this field. After a request is submitted and accepted, this is the only field that may be modified by the end user. You may also add links, files, and images to the time request. We have completed our time request now. Next, let's cover options for actions with your time requests. First, I'll save this record. On the Time Request menu, click Save Time Request. A time request with new status and with a particular permit may be modified by the user the permit is for and by the lab master of the recipient lab. Users may verify a time request to ensure that it can be submitted. On the Time Request menu, click Verify Time Request. A pop-up will appear indicating errors, and the headers in the fields with any errors turn red. I will make the correction to the investigators field. And now select Verify again. The pop-up now shows Verification OK. To submit your time request, go to the Time Request menu and select Submit Time Request. Click Submit on the pop-up menu. If your submission has any errors, a pop-up will appear. Once your time request is submitted, you may not edit most of it. Now the status of the request is also listed as submitted. Time requests may be submitted by the user the permit is for and by the lab master of the recipient lab. You may also withdraw a time request. On the Time Request menu, click Withdraw Time Request. Now you may make edits to the time request again. Time requests may be withdrawn by the user and by the lab master of the recipient lab. A time request with accepted status cannot be withdrawn. To search your time requests, in the main window in Sundial, select Search in the menu bar. Under Time Requests, I'll choose Search by User. When I leave an asterisk in every field, all time requests under my username are returned in the main window of Sundial. A second way to search for time requests is to use the button bar. Select Time Requests from the drop-down menu and choose from the buttons to the right. I'll click on Search by User. A pop-up window appears and we may now modify our search criteria. I'll search for requests with new status. All my time requests with the new status are now returned. A third method to search for an existing record is to right-click on the View node of an existing search. A list appears of search options available. Let's search by user permit, and for this example, I'll select this permit. Once you have completed a time request, you may use it as a template to submit future requests. Choose the time request you wish to build from. Even though this record may have been fully processed, accepted, or submitted, when I select Save as New from the Time Request menu, this now creates a new time request. We may now modify fields. Let's update the billing period and change our requested time to 30 hours and minimum time to 10 hours. I'll also clear the ways to divide time and comments on time fields. Now this time request is ready to submit. I'll select Submit Time Request from the Time Request menu. The verification is done automatically and I didn't receive any errors, so I'll select Submit on the pop-up. You may delete time requests in New Status by choosing Delete Time Request in the Time Request menu. If your time request has been submitted, you must withdraw the request before you delete it. Select OK from the pop-up window to verify your choice. To close a time request, select Close Time Request from the Time Request menu. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and please refer to the help pages on the Sesame website for any further questions.